it wasn't soon after that, the IRS definitely has a place it's needed, right? Like I don't down them for that. They they expect you when you start your business to hire an accountant. They don't say, hey, Carlotta, you just started a business. This is what we expect of you. No, they expect you to go hire an accountant. And accountants, for the most part, are just trying to do as many returns as possible in the amount of time that they have. And so, they're trying to do thousands of returns and they don't have time to say, hey, this is what you need to do. This is how you can save money. These are the strategies that you should do. I mean, they don't have time to do all of that because their systems are not set up for that. Their systems are set up for compliance, not to be helpful. And so anyways, I went to work at the IRS. I audited small businesses. I ruined a lot of their lives. One day I was sitting across from one of my taxpayers and he said, Carlotta, when I started this business, I did everything I thought I was supposed to do. I went and hired the best accountant in town. I, read up on some stuff. I thought I was doing all of this correctly. He said, you're about to give me a bill that is going to ruin my business. Okay, when you grow up in a family of business owners, do you know how that feels? This guy had tears welling up in his eyes. I mean, I'm about to ruin his life and his business because he can't pay this bill. And I know how cash flow is in a business. It was like a $40,000 or $50,000 tax bill. That's a lot for a business owner that only makes a profit of $40,000 or $50,000 a year. So those words stung, and he looked at me and he said, the IRS should make it mandatory that you take a business tax course before you ever start a business. So Carlotta had already felt like she was ruining lives every day. So I went and started a ministry at night helping business owners, helping them with taxes, doing it totally for free just to help. From there, I started thinking about this and I was like, I have to help, but how do I help? Because at this point I knew there was no changing the IRS, but I never wanted to leave there because I loved my job. So then I went into another audit. It was terrible. A few years later, it was an employee. He had gotten mixed up with an MLM that told him he could write off all this stuff. And at the end of the day, he was going to have a $50,000 tax bill. And he made, as an employee, $40,000 a year. Okay, he was a blue-collar worker. It was terrible. It was terrible. And I left before I could finish his audit. So I say all of that to say, like, having a professional that cares and that can help you and that cares more about you, like that treats how much money you're paying as they would their own, is so important. That's probably the biggest thing I learned at the IRS.
Well, so you left the IRS and you started your tax preparer, and I can imagine that there is a huge like everybody in the world, I know myself included, I'm like, taxes, like it's hard enough for me to add like 2 and 2 and 2 together and get any number at all. Like I end up in like La La Land. I come up with an idea that I want to go do, right? I'm like, hey, let's go do this. I'll build a car. That doesn't answer the math problem.
That's what all entrepreneurs do. They just they go act, and then they're like, oh, but wait, I've got to do all this stuff. Yeah, exactly. A lot there. You wouldn't believe the number of entrepreneurs that actually go a long time without filing, and then they get to the point. Now, I've had people get on a call with me, and they'll be suicidal because they're so sick they cannot sleep because they're so scared the IRS is going to put them in jail. And if that is you, please do not feel like that. That is not going to happen. Get on a call with me. I can calm you in a matter of minutes. That is not life. I mean, obviously you need to pay your taxes, but it's not that serious.
You're the tax whisperer.
Yeah, that's what I've actually been called that before. Yes, it's serious, and yes, you need to pay, but you can fix this. It's some people feel like it's so bad they can't fix it. And
it's scary. Yeah. I mean, the IRS is scary. Like you what do you see? Like when you look at TVs, when you look at movies, when you look at all the stories, I don't think that it was created that way. I think the government, of course, they want you to pay your taxes because the
Right.
government doesn't run if you don't. But
Yeah.
I love the fact that you are passionate and excited. So take me through, you left the IRS, you started your business. What's happened since you started your business?
So I started my business, and I just wanted to serve people. My quote is serve with all of your heart and you will always have an abundance. And I've lived by that every day. So I served and I served and I served and I served. And remember me saying this business started as ministry while I was still an agent, and just morphed into a business once I left. See, I was not going to ever be a accounting firm. I was really going to build out that course that guy said everyone needed and just educate, because everyone needs education. But when I went to having accountants implement, they didn't want to implement. I've not found another accountant that will implement like we do. And so that was, heartbreaking for one, but secondly, I knew I had to start a business that would implement what I was teaching, because if you can't find an accountant to implement the things that you need, that's a problem. If their whole point is to just push out a tax return that's going to cost you money, and there's no strategy there to save you, or there's nothing there to make sure that it's correct, that is a real problem. And so I started my firm, but it started as ministry a couple of years before that. So my first problem was I was terrible at charging people. I just wanted to do everything for free. Because I was like, I just want to help everybody, and not just do your stuff for free and your stuff for free. I'd sit on here and help people with their TurboTax for free. I just wanted to love on people and help them feel like there was hope. But I learned really fast that I could not run a business that way, right? Like I was going to have to go back to the IRS, which at this point, like I was trying to make a difference. So I was kind of torn. But yeah, it was, the first year was kind of scary.
Are you looking to scale your business but trying to figure out how to get your message across? Well, go to storyselling.how to grab my free course that will show you how to discover everything that you need to build your business through stories. These stories work whether it's in social media, email, or public speaking. There are 5 core stories that you'll learn. You'll be able to use all of them by the time you're done with this course. Again, that is storyselling.how. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to tune in next time.